Hey, you're welcome, everyone. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Afro Social Workers Forum Germany. It's always a privilege to have you all. And as I say it all the time, you are giving us the gift of your time, and we are for that very grateful. We will always be thankful to you. You're welcome to our conversation today with the Afro Social Workers Batemona-Abeke, and we're going to be having an amazing man too with us, the Omer Idriss, and of course, my humble self, Vera Sompon. Of course, our conversation today is again on the conversation of a boy child, because, like we said the previous times, we want to support the boy child. The Afro-Social Workers Forum is a platform for social workers with African background to support the community with their diverse challenges. And this time around, we're having the diverse conversation about the boy child and how the system and the structure of social work can support the boy child. Welcome with me, ladies and gentlemen, my colleague. And today we're having Batemona-Abeke. You're welcome, ma'am. And of course, we are having us an amazing one with us today, Idrissa Omer. You're both welcome. Thank you so much for honoring the platform and, of course, for being
Okay.
there for the people. How are you
Thank
both?
you. Ladies first.
Yes, lovely. It's
Mhm.
okay.
So, ma'am, tell us a little
Yeah.
about you. Of course, you know already the procedure. When you're here, tell us who is a social worker, what is a social institution, and of course tell us a little more about yourself, the work you do, and how the social institution can support the boy child.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vera. Thank you very much, Omer Idriss. It's an honor once again to be here this Tuesday talking to the world about um, the role of social workers in empowering and supporting boy child. My name is Ellen Batemona-Abeke. I'm a social worker, a trauma consultant, and also a diversity trainer. I am representing our institution, Pamoja Africa in Cologne, and we are a group of social workers who have set this institution, and we are specializing with children and the youth work in Cologne. We are doing a lot of work in encouraging or supporting African parents in bringing their children. We are mentors, we are coaches, and we are also very active in anti-racism work in Cologne, in Germany. This is about me and my institution, and I'm very happy to be one of the founders of the Afro Social Worker Forum, which is a forum that has been set up by Pamoja Africa, my person, and the person of Vera Sompon. And because we noticed that there is a need for African social workers to come together and address the major topics that are affecting our African community in Germany. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's always a privilege to have you. And today we are having another social worker in the house, and of course, by person, Idrissa Omer. You're welcome, sir. How are you today? Tell us more about
Okay.
your work as a social worker, and of course, the role of social work in supporting a young boy.
Hello. Thank you to introduce me. My name is Omer Idrissa Widraogo. I'm social worker. I'm working in Hamburg, and I lived in 2007 in Germany. And as social worker, we have to use a different method to accompany the young people or to accompany the group of person we want to use. And in Hamburg, I represent my institution. It is Abed FAO. It's an organization who will be recognized in Hamburg in Germany. And we provide a lot of topics for young people, for parents, for family, and all the African people who need help. It is most important to work together to help them to integrate in the society. Um, Me, I'm social worker. I'm trainer for intercultural retreat, but I'm working for the HIV/AIDS prevention as freelancer. For me, it is important to use formation, to use training, different contexts to support the people who need help. In this case, it's important to talk about the boy child, what kind of possibility, what kind of help we can do as social worker, as professional worker, to help them to integrate, to grow up, to do the best from them in in the German society.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, ma'am. And I'm welcoming you both again. And I'm thanking you both because I think that today we are going to have an exciting conversation. We are welcome everyone who is here with us. Thank you for the usuals, those who are always there. And we are welcoming you. Today we have another social worker with us, and we are going to be having and starting our conversation, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, please you can start sending your questions. It will help us so that we can properly answer your questions before the end of the program. Remember that 58 minutes goes so very fast. Again, you're welcome to the Afro Social Workers Forum, a platform whereby we support the community with their diverse challenges. And today we are talking, of course, about the boy child. I want to begin with you, Mr. Idriss. The
Yes.
question I have for you is,
Mm.
could you please tell us and define exactly what social work is all about?
Social work, thank you for the question. In my opinion, social work, it's a professional work. To do social work, it's important to make training, to make study at the university. To depend where exactly you have to take your formation or your training. It is important to learn about the group who you want to help. And social work service are very, very different, and you can study for 3 years, for 4 years, depend, or 2 years, depend. There are a lot of people who are looking at the type from social work to provide help for community people or all the people who need help in the community. And in my case, I can say that I study social work in my country, Burkina Faso. I started there and I study sociology to make my job later. And before I came to Germany, to move to Germany, I used to work as social worker in Burkina Faso in West Africa. I used to support young people. I used to support women. I used to support the old people who need help, because social work are working for a lot of people. It can be for the young people, that can be for the old people, and the domain are different. For example, we can work for education, in this area. It is important to know about education for people, for your group. And in Germany, exactly, it is most important to talk about the integration, because in the context of migration, it's most important as social worker to know exactly which method I have to use to work with which group, because if we have different group and then community, we have different. It is important to provide different different offices to help the people. And as social worker, we are usually working with the group. We are using case management. Case management, it's a method to accompany the people. And on our topic, it is important what we are doing in our institution to accompany the people, the boy child, for example, to integrate in this society, to accompany maybe 4 years, 2 years, 3 years. It's another form to that the social worker are still using to accompany the group. It's possible. It is another method could be counseling. Counseling that has we have individual help. It means the people can come to us and to use. We have to make face-to-face counseling to know about the problem, the situation from the person, and how we can provide together. Because we can provide counseling, we can provide accompaniment for people who need help. And this case from the boy child, it is important to know exactly what kind of need a social worker. Also, and resume to say that social work is a profession who very important and in the society, and it depends from the people we are doing, and we have to know the need from the group which we have to help, and it's important to work together to use the participation and what kind of needs the people have, what kind of needs children have, and we have to work together with the group to implement the project together and to make evaluation at the end.
Thank you very much, Mr. Idris. I think you have to add your volume a little so that I can also be able to hear you very well. But thank you so very much, Mr.
Okay.
Idris. You gave us some few methodics and the method of and approaches of social work, which is really amazing. And that is exactly that which makes a difference between the layman ways of helping and, of course, the professional way of helping. Ma'am Batemona-Abeke, tell us more about how can we use all the methods that he just mentioned to be more professional and to help and support the young boy.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vera. Thank you very much, Idris, Omer. Yes, yeah, it's very important for African social workers to realize the responsibility that they have in supporting children in general, families in general. But in this case, we are talking of boy child because of what the society we are living in has made them be. Like we talked last week's, or we have had 2, 3 top sessions on this topic, we saying that the fathers are absent. Most fathers are absent, and when fathers are absent, then the whole responsibility is left alone on the mother. And so the boys that we're having in the society in Germany today are being raised without having a mentor, a man figure in the house to act as a mentor and to maybe even go to if they have those questions that they cannot talk to their mothers about. We are not saying that the mothers are not qualified. We are not saying that the mothers are not doing a good job. The mothers are doing wonderful, but a child needs 2 parents. And when one is amiss, then you can bear with me that there's something that is going to be amiss in this child. So this is why we, as a forum, because based on our experience from the counseling we do every day, based on our experience from the mentoring that we do to families, based on our experience from the coaching that we do that is not being spoken about in Germany. That is why we decided to come up with this platform so that we can say what we can talk about the topics that we think as social workers are very burning and they need to be attended to in the society. And one of them is the question of supporting
Thank you very much. We are losing Ma'am Batemona-Abeke.
this
Uh,
question is the question of supporting empowered boy child to stand.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We lost you for a very brief moment, but thank you that you're back again, and thank you very much for elaborating our responsibilities as social workers, and especially as social workers. African social workers in the community, that we have a responsibility to play for the growth of our community and to help the families, the children, and especially the young boy. My question now to you, Sir Omer Idriss.
Yeah.
In the past weeks, we have been having the conversation about the boy child and how particularly we should help the boy child, because we realize that there's a lot of burdens that has been put upon the boy child, and a lot of maybe false information about what a man is. You are coming also from the psychological background, and you know a little more of sociology. Question would be, what do you think is a cause of this overburdened that has been placed on a young boy or on a man? Where does this problematic come from?
Um,
And how can we help it?
okay, thank you for your question. I think that there are a lot of different reasons, and as a man, I have to educate. Sometimes I try to educate my children the same, to have the same concept to educate the children. But what the boy child need can be different, like the girl. And in this case, if you want to support the children, you have to be careful because every child has different needs. In this context, there are family and a lot of families where the people, the parents don't have many time. We spend not a lot of time with the children. It may be that the children have to play the role from the parents because the elders are working a lot, and we don't listen careful to the children, and it depends which kind of age the children have got. In its case, both parents have to play really their role to accompany the children. Sometimes we are saying we are working a lot, we are coming home, and we don't have much time to listen carefully the children. We don't have time to go and swim pool with the children to do something. But there are the little thing what we can do to accompany the children in this context. And I think that as social worker, it's different to play my role as a parent. But all parents have a dream. They want the best for the children. We are migrants. We are living here, but migrant or foreigner, like Batemona had said, and the other people, we have the same need. They have human rights. They are universal for all. For children, it is the same. But as migrant, we have difficult, mass problem. We are confronted with mass problem in the society. It's the reason we have to do fast more things than the other to compare. It's my point of view, because the children they are visiting, they are going to the school, they have to learn at the school, they have to come back, they have to learn the language, they have to use, they have a background as migrant, and there are a lot of factors that are playing in this case in our children. For our children, they need mass supporting, empowerment. They have to be empowered, not through the society, through the institution, but we have to play our role as parent, our role as father and mother. We have to play our role careful for the children. The difference between men, young and girl, it's evident they are different. It depends. Maybe the young boy feels confident to talk about sexuality with papa, with daddy, and the girl feel confident to talk about sexuality with the mother. It is okay, but it doesn't mean that it's a universal role. Maybe can that the girl feel better confident to talk about sexuality with the adult. Why not? It means we have to be open with the children. We have to listen careful. We have to to support the children and all what they are doing. Self-paced is very important to play their role to participate in what they are doing. We have to encourage, we have to accept that it's a good thing what they are doing, and step by step we can do more. But I cannot say that there are this rule for a young boy, for the boy child, this rule for the girl. It's difficult. It's difficult. Depend because they are young boy, but they will grow up and later maybe they can be another another type from person, not a boy, but a girl. It's different. You know, in this society and in our country, there are the same situation, but some of topic are difficult to talk about it. They are taboo, and we don't speak about it, about transgender, about the situation. Is the reason I have. We have to be open. We have to be careful if you want to educate, to accompany. We have to spend more time with our children.
Thank you very much, Risa. He says that we have to spend more time with our children. I have a coach, Marshall, who says that in an average family, a father spends 19, or we spend 19 minutes per day talking to our children. And I think that 19 minutes, it's really, really, really small
Yeah, yes,
when
yeah.
we have to really have a communication. And he is also a psychologist and says averagely the normal average family and family spends 19 minutes to have intensive talk with their children or with family members. So yes, I agree with you. We really have to work on that to find real time for them, the families, and especially for the boy child. And you went further to say that the boy child also, they have their differences and they need more empowerment. We need parents to be at home with them or to support them. We should be open with the children in all spheres, and they need safe space, and the safe
Yes.
space is so very important. Thank you very much, sir. Ma'am Batemona-Abeke, when Mr. Adresa was talking, it kept coming in my mind
Mhm.
to really ask you the question: what is really the different challenges between the boy and the girl child? Why should we really have to emphasize on the boy child? Is there any difference in their challenges really? So that we should really emphasize now on the boy child, and how can we really see that and help that situation?
My observation is that it starts first of all with the mindset that a girl child is socially disadvantaged. There is that perception, and the society has perceived it and has recognized it. And then there are different ways that are being looked into so as to support this socially disadvantaged girl child.
Mhm,
So I think that's the main difference.
mhm,
I've said in this platform many times that it is almost impossible to get funding to support men or boys projects. That's my experience with my over 20 years social work. And the question comes, yes, girl child is socially disadvantaged. If we look at it from the society where most of us are coming from, now that we are talking about Africans, it is recognized that in most African countries that girls, that women are disadvantaged because of the patriarchal structures and traditions that we have. And this is how we come to Europe. And when the girls come to Europe, they start breathing freedom. They start breathing consideration. They start breathing, finding out that they have a possibility of doing that. They can be who they want to be. what was not possible in their society back home. So because of this, the girls are flying. They are just flying higher. And as they are flying higher, the boy child is remaining stagnant. And this brings a big problem because there is no common language, because one is very high and the other one is remaining low. Now remember that we traditionally, we will need these two people to form a family, traditionally. In Europe, we have different forms of partnership. We have now two women starting a family. We have two men starting a family. We have other genders that have welcomed and they are forming families. Now, but that's why we are talking of boy and girl. We have now to think of how, since we say that the society is not seeing a man or a boy child as a problem. They think they're actually a problem to the girl child or to the women. We need, and as a result of this, the ego of the boy child is going down. We need now to think of ways how we can support this boy child's ego to be boosted so that they don't develop a complex. And as a result, even the girl child is not going to enjoy this empowerment and this working hard that she is doing, because when she gets home at the end of the day, there is that boy child who is going to draw her back. So these are the differences that I've seen. I don't believe that that boys are more sharp than girls, and I don't believe that girls are more sharp than boys naturally. I think it depends on the exposure. It depends on the support they get. It depends on their upbringing at home, what the children, how the children are being brought up, the parental care, the parental mindset about both genders. This is what is determining if there is a difference. And I like concentrating not on the difference, but on the common. On the common. What do they have in common? Because we as social workers, because of our work or based on our work, more years experience, we are really saying that we are sounding alarm. There is a problem of a boy child. There is a problem of a black man in the society in Germany. I don't want to talk about anywhere else in the world because I live in Germany and I practice my profession in Germany. There is a problem, and these problems need to be taken serious and need to be addressed. Otherwise, we are going to have serious problems in the next 5-10 years in families. So I want to say that when the girl child is empowered, is supported with everything possible, and the boy is lacking behind, things are not going to work. I don't want to go very traditional and start talking of marriage. I just want to say that we need to boost both of them. The girls, I'm not really worried because they are on the right track. In Germany, the society is really taking care of them, but we need to start thinking professionally. How can we support the boy child? And one method will be creating awareness like we are doing in our program, that we need more men to be involved. We need to go and fish where these black social workers are as men, so that they can join us, support the families. If we can do it in every city, if we can create this awareness in every city in Germany, then we are going to have a society of lifted black males, both fathers and their sons. And by so doing, it's going to be easy even for the mothers and for the sisters. So this is my take.
Mhm. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. That was very elaborate there. And you, in your conversation, you're mentioning the fact that we need a balance. We need a balance in the society because we are realizing that there's been a lot of empowerment conversation, safe space for girls because of the background information that we were told that girls are maybe not at the weaker verse or the weaker sex. And now we are living in a community whereby we are having all the empowerment. And so we want to have a balance so that our community is healthy and sound. I will still go back to hit on that question because we need to find out as social workers how can we properly support them, especially if we have challenges with getting funding because of the background information that the society is having about the black child. But before we get to that in conversation, I want to pay attention to those who are here and their comment. We have Marie De Caro, and she's asking the question, and I think this question has to do with the previous question. What if parents get the children from the TV and use this time to do something together? How would this be able to affect and influence positively the boy child? Idrissa?
I think TV or social media, they are important for us, but we have to regulate it. We have to play our role, our parent. Um, I think sometimes the children are using a lot of social media. They are connected the whole time. And in this case, it could be bad for the family, for the children, for the child. I think they have to communicate, to do something other, to playing outside, to use of. For me, it's important to look after, to control some time because there are programs for or what which are for the children depend from their age. It's important to know which kind of program which child or which children have to look for. As a look at. For me, it is important to control it because a lot of children are spending time in front of TV.
So Mr. Idrissa says that there's a need for a balance. Ma'am Batemona-Abeke, any word to that?
Yes, thank you very much, Mary Di Caro. I think parents, it's very clear that the TV and the social media alone is not going to educate the children. It's going to even make them not think. Some of us grew up outside, not inside the doors. And I wanted to revisit this point by saying that the social media can be used constructively. If it is limited, as my colleague Omer has said, it is not harmful. It's also very important to see what social media are the children. If they are small children, what is it that they are watching? What is it? What games are they playing? Are these games violent? You know, we have little things that every family watches. Tom and Jerry, it's a cartoon. But do you know that this cartoon is really is very it's showing a lot of violence? You know, if we just look at the way Tom is always handling Jerry, it's just about beating, it's about using violence and showing that I'm big. The language being used is not clean. And this is not even a language that children should be using. I give a small example of Tom and Jerry because most parents think that Tom and Jerry internationally is okay. They can watch it. So this is just a little example. We can also limit the number of hours or minutes a child can be on the screen a day. We can try to, like now during these COVID times, it's very difficult because most of the parents are just everything. There are no sports facilities. There is the recreation where children meet outside is now very limited. So the only thing the children are just doing at home these days is just to be on the media. So we are running away from the virus outside. But there is a serious virus inside the home, and this is consuming this social media. So, like my colleague has said, please let's watch what our children are watching. Let's watch what games our children are watching, and if possible, let's watch them together. Let's do it together so that we can balance and limit the time that is spent on these things. Now, another point that I would want to add is those that were raised in Africa, there is a way that we used to play as children. Nothing has actually happened to these games. We can actually go back to them and keep ourselves busy with the children. We in our institution, Pamoja, we have a project we always call the games of yesterday for the children of today. And when we do these things with the parents, we don't need anything. We just need our bodies, and we just go outside and we just ask, just think of how you used to play as a child. And it's very interesting the comments that we hear from parents. They were climbing trees, they were just creating their own footballs with the locally available materials. They were just creating their own cycling things. There's a lot that one can do even today. The way we planned to those days can also can be planned today. We just need to create time, more than 19 minutes a week or a day, to be with our children and try to see what is it that we can do. We don't need a lot of money. We don't need to buy memories. We don't need to buy all those things. We can really spend time with our children with the television put off and the PlayStation and DS and everything off, and spend time with our children. We can cook with our children. We can, fathers, when you are going to, if you have a car, you want to go and wash your car, you can carry your boy child with you. You just, as you clean this car, you show this boy how it is done. And you won't be talking about things. This boy won't be picking some certain things. When you are changing the wheel of the car, you will be doing it with your boy. It's little things, but there's an exchange of information that takes place during this time. So we are talking of little things that every father, every mother can afford to support and voucher. For the
Thank
mothers, at one point, for the mothers, when we are cooking, when we are reading, we can also try to engage our boy children. When we go to the market shopping for vegetables or for clothes or for I don't know what, we can also engage our children, also our boys, in these things. And by doing so, they are going to be learning that every work is for each and every person. There is no work for male and there is no work for female. And the same thing goes also to career, checking the career or choosing the career. This is going to lift the boy children. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. We're going to come back again to that conversation. In our conversation now, we can tell that the lack of communication in the family setting could also be a very one of the reasons why the boy child is maybe misled. Could that be true, Mr. Idrissa? And Cornelia Hesha says, and talk about it and explain the why. How do we explain the why to a young boy? Tell us more about communication, Mr. Idrissa.
Communication is the most important thing in the family, and all of thing what we are doing at the work, in the family. It's most important to communicate with the children, to listen them, to observe what they are doing. There are a lot of thing of communication because depend of the boy child what I need to do exactly. Like as father, I can spend time with my boy child to play with you, with him. We can go out to do something together, and it doesn't mean that we cannot do it together with the girl. It's possible. But with the boy child, it's important to communicate specifically what he need exactly, what we can do together. It's important to give respect for what they are doing, to accept that not all is perfect, but we have to empowerment, to give more empowerment in what he is doing. And what I think it's we have to be yeah, the best friend our boy child. Huh? Our boy child have to use as best friend to be confident to him. It's important to make it as soon as possible, because later it will be difficult to get this relationship. As social worker, it's important to say that African parents have sometimes difficult like the other people, but sometimes it is important to have someone who can help with his background. They are migrant, they are living in Germany, with African background, and they can help out with the language, with the culture. They have a lot of things what this kind of social worker can use to communicate with the parent, because it usually the problem with the with Jugendamt in Germany here, or a lot of parents have difficult. In this case, the problem from of communication, it will be more than that, not just in the family in this case, but in the institution. In the institution, it's important to know what kind of entity can communicate better with the parent, with the African, with the parent, with the boy children, to help them in this community, because our experiences or our background and our culture could be helpful to support the children in this case.
Thank you so very much, Idrissa. Batemona-Abeke, I want you to go again deep into the aspect of communication, but this time around, give us some specific methodics of communication. How, step by step, what are the different methods of communication that parents can use, especially in the application of the boy child or generally in the family, to ameliorate the relationship?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, this is a very interesting topic, communication. How do we communicate to our children? It's very interesting to observe that I don't like putting everyone together, but I'm just saying mostly the communication is more monologue. It's like you ask for something, you get what you want, and that's it. This monologue communication is not is actually is not encouraging to have a dialogue. I talk of dialogue, go into a dialogue. Try to find out how the day was for this boy child. Somebody saying round table over dinner, talk over something, let them be a topic. Sometimes you just need to create the time. If you create the time, you'll be very surprised what topics are going to come out. And if the boys or if the children see that the father is interested, they're going to come up. I give a simple example. A child can say, I want to go out. I just want to ask for permission to go out. It's very important maybe to want to know, where is this boy going out? Who is this boy going out? Where are they going out? What are they going to do? And if you interest yourself, you will be very surprised the kind of information that you're going to get. And we are talking of, now you have to be open. You don't just shut him up, or no, you don't go with these friends. No, you don't stay until late. You have to explain maybe why. So what I'm missing in most of the communication is going deeper into talks, explaining why this is going to resort to this, and always not sounding warning, because a child that is always getting warnings is not going to develop properly. It's going to grow up having fears in everything. So sometimes it's also okay to accept a mistake. So if you notice that the child is making a mistake, and say, okay, this is a mistake, but if I were you, or if I can advise you, you can do it differently. Or to say you are wrong, but it's okay. Just realize you are wrong. It's okay. So that the boys cannot be growing up in fears that if daddy comes to know of this, I will get into trouble. So because of this, they will be showing the face that the parent want to see, but behind this face that we see is a hidden devil. And this is what happens most of the time. So we really need to also allow boys also to be emotional. In one of our programs, I have talked here on this platform that it's okay also for men to cry. That men that are crying are not weak. It's okay for men to be emotional and to show their emotions. And if this happens, we should appreciate them and we should not just see them as weak men. Because we seeing them as weak men, we will force them to be hardcore. That even when they are suffering, they will not show that they are suffering. So why did I bring the topic of emotion when it comes to communication? It's because there is a tendency to shout. If you shout, you don't command respect, but you show your weakness. So let's please observe this. Let's not try to command, but let's try to have a dialogue and not scare our young boys from not expressing their fears or their sorrows, because they have to be tough to be good men in the society.
I have to hit on that point again, Madam Batemona-Abeke, because this is so important. We observe in the community that our parents, mothers, or again fathers, they have the tendency to always warn the children. There's the attitude of warning or threatening, not only warning but threatening. If you don't do this, you will not get this. And then you go further to also say shouting. And we realize that most of the time there is really no dialogue between the parents, mother, father, or father, child, and all that, because there's always this aspect of authority that is standing up there and they're screaming. And now you are coming as a social worker and you say, hey, you're screaming at the child only shows your weaknesses and not your strength. What an amazing conversation today. But let's go further, because we now realize that sorry, if we have to help the boys, then we have to help the parents. Ma'am, I stay on you. How do we really specifically help the parents to understand the importance of dialogue and not warning, not threatening, and not shouting? How do we do that step by step?
So in one of our programs, we have said that every child has a right to be educated, to be brought up, to be a responsible person in the society. And we quoted the first paragraph that it is primarily the responsibility of the parents to do this. So if the parents are not able to do it, then we have paragraph number 2 of this social law book that's saying that you can get help from the government. And this help you can get either from social workers like us, or you can go to, you can get somebody allocated to you to be coming to your home and be checking what the problem is, and then trying to bring in some corrections. And this help is not only for the children, but also for the parents. So the help is given to strengthen the parents to be better educators, but be in a position to bring their children up the way they're supposed to be, so that they can be better, good, responsible men in the society. So we are talking of getting help. If you cannot do it, you just need to say, hey, talk to a professional. And this professional is going to show you the different possibilities that you have. Some things you have to do, you may have to do it alone. They have to show you how to go about it. And other things, she or he will have to go do it together with you. And some sessions, these family helpers, they also spend some time with the children or with the teenage or young adults alone, because the help is not only for small children, it's also for teenagers. So please, let's get the help. Let's utilize the help that the government has set in the society there. And that's why we as social workers, we are coming here to say, to get help, to get support, to overcome a certain problem in the family does not show that you're a weaker person or you have failed as a parent. No, you are going to fail if things are not going on the way they should be and you are not getting the support. Then you are failing. If you take this help and you take it with a lot of confidence, your family is going to be within a very short time at a different level. Because let's not forget, when the children are small, the problems are small. When the children grow up, the problems keep on getting bigger. So if you arrest the situation on time, later on, there's not going to be a major problem. And always think that the hormones that the children, when they get to teenage, they also don't understand their body. There are some hormones that are being produced that are causing a lot of confusion to them. And as they keep on going on and having issues that have not been attended to, it's very easy to go into drugs. It's very easy to go into alcohol consumption. It's very easy to go to other addiction, being criminal, stealing, roaming around, and refusing to go to school. So there is a whole
Thank,
Okay.
there's a lot of problems that are following things if they are not writing down on time. Thank you.
So,
thank you so
yeah,
much, ma'am. Idrissa, I think you want to add
yeah,
something. There is
Jenna,
a question
Jenna, I
on
want
the
to say
platform, and I
something.
want us to talk about it. But Idrissa, say something.
Yeah, I want to say something because the institution are there to help the parents. If the parent cannot help, the children have difficult help, they have professional help in the institution. And Hamburg, they had a lot of possibilities. We talk about the institution as migrant. Migrant had a lot of institution, recognized association or organization who are working, who are doing the great job. They are possibly to help them. There are another type of help, institutional help, like Caritas, AVO, Diakoni. They have a social worker that working there. They can help too. I mean, for me, it's not a problem if parents have it difficult in the family. It is important to look for help, another help to complete the education in the family. It is much important. Also, the chairs are here, although there are people in the chairs who can help our institution. There are a lot of people in the different recognized association who can help, and the professional institution like AVO, Diafconi, another type of institution who our brother and sister are working like social and professional worker. It means it's important to look for help if it is not yeah, it is difficult at home.
Thank you so very much. We are having one question here. I would like us to get into that question, and but very briefly because we are almost coming to the end of
Okay.
our time. I mean, 58 minutes is really so small, and I'm sorry that I have to put the question down. We have a
Okay.
little boy that is complaining, and one little German girl of about 12 years old tells the boy that he wants him to be her lover, and the little boy, who is about 6 years, says no, and because of that, the girl start crying, and now they are having problem. And the mother is asking, because he's a child of God, he doesn't want to have any kind of relationship, and the mother is asking us the question: how can we help our boy children with such challenges. So we have a lot of challenges in the community whereby girls are forcing themselves into the boys and all that. So how can we help our young boys with such challenges, ma'am Abeke?
We have to talk to the boy child also about sexuality. We have to talk about sexual education because it's not maybe enough what the school is saying. We need to, because when I view this question, it looks like if this boy child was very acquainted to these things, if he knew how to react, then there wouldn't have been a problem. So we are talking about gone are the days where we used to say that owning girls and being dragged into sexuality. So even boys have become victims of girls. So it's very important that we talk to our children. And you know, some of our boys are just body big, but they're small children. And when you see them outside there, you think they're big men. But these are boys of 12 years, these are boys of 10 years. So it's really very important that we also try to speak to them to tell them, take care of yourself. If any stranger speaks to you about this topic, react this way, report to an adult. You know, all these things, we have to do it. We don't do it only to the girls. We should also put a lot of effort in also telling boys to report. Or if anybody touches you, you have to refuse, you have to say, you have to shout and seek for help. And you report it, you will not be seen as a weaker person. By doing so, we are going to bring our boys also, we are going to make them conscious that they too, they can be prey to people who want to mess with them also sexually. So this is for me very, very important. And I'm back to the mom or the dad who is asking about this lover kind of business. We need to start at a very tiny age. Actually, with 5 years, we can start talking about the different sexual needs and what happens, and we give the real story, not to tell children that children are bought from hospital or they are dropped with an helicopter, the way we hand it from our parents. Let's begin to tell children in a language that they may understand. We have a lot of literature outside there to coach the parents to know what topic to speak to children at what age. So if you are not confident in doing it on your own, please go to the next bookshop. You can get a book that can explain to you how to talk about a certain topic to a child. Or you consult the social workers. That's why the social workers are there. You can always give them a ring or walk into the office and narrate your story, and you can be coached to go about such things. That's why we are saying that African social workers are coaches, they are mentors. They are there to mentor parents so that the parents can implement their work nicely to empower the family. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Idrissa. You have also a few minutes to tell us on that question. How can you and how would you counsel that young boy who says, hey, I don't want to have any sexual relationship with you or any lover relationship with you because I'm a child of God and a girl is crying? How do you counsel that young man?
Uh, it is important to talk about it. Let's talk about sex with my child. It's important to talk about it, and it's his decision to do it or no, and we have to talk. If the topic is not, it doesn't talk about the family, it will be the opportunity to talk about it. If I don't feel confident to talk with my child, it is important to look for other help. Institutional help who can help the children. I think that uh, it's most important to give the opportunity to discuss about it. If my child is want to do it, want to talk about the topic, I have to give you the possibility to talk about it. If in this age it's not possible, it doesn't do it, it is okay. It is something I have to accept. I have to tell it. It's to decide his decision, and for the girl, I'm sorry, but the reality is other. It may be that the one the boy the boy needs and the girl doesn't need, and we
Thank
have to
you very
respect
much.
it.
Thank you very much. And Dr. Jerry Kramer says that
Yeah,
we should teach our children that they own their bodies. I think this is so important,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
have the right to their body to say, no, I do not want this. Ma'am Batemona-Abeke, the time is fast gone. You have 30 seconds to give us your last word of encouragement to the parents this evening. How do we support a young boy? 30 seconds.
We wish, I personally, I wish to encourage parents to talk, parents to seek help, parents to use the services of the African social workers so that they can uplift or collectively uplift the society. This is we are there, this is why we are trained, and we are there to support you. And we encourage you to share to the other parents who are not on this platform so that they can also be profiting from what we are talking about every week. And we are also calling on all African social workers, both
Mhm.
male and female, to join us
Yeah,
through the media to get
to
more
work
information
together.
on how to
Yes,
work together.
important.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Idrissa, you have 30 seconds because our time is fast gone to give us a concluding statement and encouraging statement.
Okay, to give more empowerment for our boy child, I think it is most important to spend quality time with the boy child. Time is very, very important, but we can do it. Also, what's very important is we have to prize the child, the boy child, to prize him, but not overprice him because it can be arrogant. We have to find a balance. And what we are doing, it doesn't mean that can in the future the best. We are doing the best from us, but what the child or the boy child are today is so decision we have to respect it.
Thank you
Thank you.
so very much. I thank
Mhm.
you, Batemona-Abeke, and I thank you, Idrissa Ome, for taking your special time. And hey, these people are taking their time to give us their knowledge for free. It's an amazing thing. We really appreciate you as a community, and we appreciate you all, everyone who has been here and has been
Thank you.
contributing. Next week is another conversation again with another set of social workers. Hey, we leave you with this jingle and hope to see you next time, same time next week. God bless you.